Hello everyone, it's Dove again. I am back out here in my garage, and in this video I wanted to talk to you guys about which toilet facilities I chose and why I chose them. And I've been living out here in the garage for quite a while, and so I've had plenty of opportunity to use these things because there's no plumbing out here, there's nothing like that out here, and it's a detached garage, so it's quite a ways into the house, and sometimes I just can't wait, so I've had to over the years just figure out things to do out here. And then when I decided to become nomadic, I had to narrow it down even more. And what I first started with, just living out here in the garage, was the Lugaloo toilet system. And this is just a cushion that I have on here. I actually broke that Lugaloo very quickly. This is just a regular 5-gallon bucket. This is my spice bucket, actually. I'm just using it for show. And this is a cushion that I actually bought for that thing over there. But the Lugaloo just sits on top of a 5-gallon bucket, and it's really cheap plastic, and where the hinge was, that's where it broke, and that's where it breaks on everybody's little Lugaloo. And it's just very cheaply made. And also, I didn't like sitting on the 5-gallon bucket and then having to, do my thing. And when to be graceful, when you wipe, you usually lean to the side. And when I would lean, and I'm a little girl, it would always kind of tilt the bucket. And that felt really sketchy to me. So when that little thing broke, I really didn't care, and I just threw it away, which is why I can't show you what it looks like, but you probably all know what it looks like. And then after that was when I kind of realized that I was going to be going nomadic, and my first initial thought for a rig was, like a short schoolie, just one of those little 4 or 5 windows, or maybe a shuttle bus or something that I could stand up in. And so I bought this. It's a Thetford porta potty, and this one is one of the more expensive ones. It's like a 5-gallon porta potty, and they do make smaller ones, but at the time, again, I was just looking for a really nice one. I saw this one actually on Camper Van Kevin. He bought this when he had his ProMaster, which he could stand up in, and I bought it and I used it out here, and I was pretty sure that that's what I was going to take, but then I changed my mind on what kind of rig that I was going to be driving, because I realized that I was not going to be able to handle the maintenance of a schoolie or anything like that, and plus, they're really not that great for going out on BLM land, if you want to go pretty far out. So I pretty much changed my mind. This was nice and I liked it, but there was a lot of maintenance to it, and I would always have to find a dump station for this, because even though they tell you can dump this black tank into a toilet, that is not something that I would want to do. I actually would dump it in the sewer clean out at the back of the house, because I'm still living in sticks and bricks, and so they have the pipe that comes out of the ground with the cap on it. So I would take that cap off and dump it and rinse it out and clean it out and everything. But then in the winter, I couldn't use this because it was frozen over and there was snow on it. So all winter I couldn't use this. So that was fun. But I still kept it, and I'm going to be giving it away now. And I do like it, but it's, it took a lot of the enzymes, and if you don't use enzymes, you have to use the chemicals, which I was trying to avoid and everything. And so that's out of the question. That's not coming with me. And you can kind of see the height difference. That's just enough height difference, and it's heavy. And so because my toilet is going under my bed, this is not going to fit in my rig, which is a sub-overland. And my bed is up front, and it's already so tall right now that I can't sit up in bed all the way. And I made it as tall as this thing, and this is what I came to after trying that. And I actually bought that first, and I didn't think I would like it, so I let it sit at the back half of my garage, or the front half, whatever, towards the door, and I just didn't use it. I actually thought I was just going to give it away, but it turns out that I needed it, and it solved the problem that the Lugaloo had. Because basically what this is, it's a Reliance Hasek portable toilet, and I've tried to take the sticker off and it was leaving stuff behind, and so I'm going to have to go in and use that Goo Gone or something like that so I can take this off. But I also left it on here so I could show you guys what it is. And it's got several parts to it. I can't remember how much this was. It was probably $30, but it's got a really tight fitting lid. I left it loose on purpose because it's so tight fitting that it takes 2 hands for me to take this lid off. And so it's just a really tight fitting lid, and it keeps the odors in and everything. And then it's got a separate toilet seat ring right here, and it does have a little bit of a cutout right here, so it's not perfectly circle. It's got a little bit of an oval thing for men. I'm sorry, my camera's not wanting to focus. So it's got a separate toilet seat, so it's got its own lid, a separate seat, and then inside this bucket is another bucket. Come on, camera, focus. And so this one has a handle on it, and that's what makes it more stable. See, that's just an outer, an outer container, but because they put a bucket inside of a bucket, it makes it much more stable than just the 5-gallon bucket with that plastic seat on it. And I didn't really like that seat anyways. And this is just a charcoal packet to keep down on the odors, and you just take it out in the sun to regenerize it and clean it and everything. And I just line the bucket with these bags, trail bags, and these are really heavy duty black plastic bags. They're not your regular trash bag. They're really, really thick. And so I just keep that down in the bottom, and then I line it with that bag, and I can tuck it down into the thing so it's not like overflowing. I can actually tuck the sides down into that and then force it down in there so that there's no bag hanging out or anything. And then I just put my seat on it. And the only thing I don't like about this is there is a little groove here. Not sure if you can tell. There's a groove there, right there. There's one groove, and there's 2 small humps, and that ring right there, that groove, that's where the seat is supposed to sit down into. And I found out very quickly that it kind of likes to move on you. It's not real stable. And so what I had to do, I don't know if you can see that, that's a remnant. I have these little sticky tab things, they're sticky on both sides, and so I put I put 3, I think, and just evenly space them so that when I sit the rim down on it, it doesn't move around, and that actually works really well. But these get, after a while they lose their stickiness, so I need to replace these because I just cleaned this up and everything, and that's an old one that is still there, and I need to peel that off and replace all of those because they do lose their stickiness and everything, and you got to clean it, and you want to be clean, so you're gonna probably replace those anyways. And I just got 2 big sheets of those little tiny, they're probably 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch little circles of double tacky things. And when the bag's in there and everything, you can use whatever bedding that you want, and a lot of people will use this small pet bedding. They're just shavings, wood shavings and everything, but this takes up a lot of room, and it's very, very messy, and it really doesn't keep down on the odor very well. And so I'm not using these. I have them out here for illustration. I just need to give it away to somebody who has a hamster or something, I guess, because for me, in my opinion, this is not the best way to go. And so I just buy this lightweight cat litter, and it truly is lighter than normal cat litter. And so when I put the bag down in there, I just push it all the way down to the bottom and push out all the air, and then I dump enough cat litter in there so it's probably, you know, half an inch to an inch deep of cat litter, and then that's my first initial bed of cat litter. And I only go number 2 in here. I don't pee in here because that would take up even more cat litter. And so I just do my business and pour a little bit more, just enough to cover it. You know, you want to cover it pretty well, but I try not to waste it because it is an expense, you know. And so I just try not to use more than I need to. And so I just cover it. And then I guess I can probably go 7 days doing that, you know, having my cat litter, doing my business, covering it, doing my business, covering it, you know, once a day, every morning or whatever. And then after usually about 7 days, I need to pull that bag out of there and tie it up real well and just find somewhere to throw it away. And that's, you know, there's pros and cons to all of these systems. But for number 1, peeing, I have been doing this for years out here. Again, I have no toilet. I have nothing like that. And so when I need to go pee, these are my 2 dedicated canning jars. These are pint size canning jars, and they're the wide mouth. And so I just squat and hold this under me, you know, right up to myself, to my body, and I pee in it. And I have to admit that sometimes this jar is not big enough. But the next biggest jar, which is a 24-ounce jar, is so much taller that when I go to squat in my natural position and I'm under there, it's almost too tall. This is actually the perfect height for me when I'm doing that. And yeah, if it flows over, I'm in trouble and I have to clean up my mess. But to carry it around this is a plastic canning jar. This is not what you can with. When you're canning something, you put a 2-piece thing on it. There's a flat metal lid, and then there's a ring that you put on it. So it's a 2-piece thing. And that's how you have to can things in these jars. But just for storage, they actually make these white lids that fit these jars, and this is a wide mouth lid. And I was just, you know, doing my business and going about my business, and I would use this basket to carry them in. I've only got 2, so when those 2 were full, you know, I'd have to go dump them in the toilet in the house. But after a while, and it didn't take very long, if I realized that if it fell over, that it would start leaking, because these lids are not self-sealing. They're just not. They're just storage lids for things that are supposed to be sitting upright. They're not meant to be peeing in and transporting it around. And so they make these silicone rings, and they fit right down into the groove. You just push it all the way down, and that works really well, so that if the jar falls over or whatever, and I get it on there really tight, so if the jar falls over, it doesn't leak or anything. So I really love these things. They've been a lifesaver for me. So that's what I do when I'm on the road. I'm probably not going to want to be taken in a basket into the restroom or anything. And so what I'm going to do is use this. It was my mom, my deceased mother. She was a crafty, very, very crafty and artsy person. And so one of her things was she would take regular canvas shopping bags and she would craft them and everything. So this particular one, she cut it in half pretty much, and she sewed all this on. Just whatever, supposed to be cute. She was just always like that. But on the inside, it was supposed to be basically a purse And so she made these inner pockets with, she actually may have just turned this thing inside out and then put a seam. I'm not sure how she constructed it, but she used that leftover part there to make inside pockets. And there's 2 on each side. And I tried it, and these canning jars fit perfectly in those pockets, and so I would feel less conspicuous, I think, just carrying this into a gas station or whatever. And they fit perfectly. I don't know if you can tell or not, but they're short enough so that the only thing that you can see, if anything, is just the very top of the jar. And so that's how I will carry my pea jars into a restroom or whatever whenever. And I can always dump them outside too. I've had to do that. Sometimes, you know, the nights get long and it's raining outside and I don't feel like going back and forth into the house, and those 2 are full. You know, I've literally taken one and just right outside my garage door, just dumped it right along the foundation, brought it back in here, dried it up a little bit, and used it, because that was, you know, that was what I needed to do. And actually, when I'm on the road, I think I might take one of these containers empty. When it's empty, I have one over there that's almost empty, and I think I might rinse this out and then just dump the jars into here as I need to. You know, if I'm in a place where I really can't dump outside onto, you know, a tree, the ground on a tree or anything, I think I'm gonna just take one of these, so that I always have somewhere to put my urine, so that I'm not always depending on having a restroom nearby or anything like that. So that is it. That's how I've decided to do my toilet facilities when I'm on the road. And this was a lot of trial and error. I can show you. I can't even show you. I can't even put it back on hardly with one hand. There we go. That's how tight that is. So I really do like this. And then this cushion over here, I bought this. It's got an elastic band around it, and I bought it because see, this is going to be difficult. Let me set you down for a second. I bought this cushion because this is also going to be secondary seating inside my rig. Like if I don't want to sit in the driver's seat. It's kind of hard to get on with the elastic. Yeah, it's not wanting to go on. But you get the gist. It's got an elastic band, and it comes all the way down to here. And then that just provides some cushion, because I've sat on this before and it is not comfortable. I'm skinny, and to sit on this, it's really not comfortable. So I had to find a cushion that was pretty much the same size as that. And it's got this nice fabric that goes all the way down. And so it comes to here. And so if I'm not using the toilet as a toilet, I can still sit on it and lounge on it and everything. Again, I'm going to take that label off, clean that up. Alright guys, so I know it's been a while since I put out a video. Sorry about that. The weather turned crappy again around here, and I really haven't been doing much. And because the weather got crappy, the pain in my back came back. So I just haven't been feeling like doing anything. And now I'm out of breath. Alright guys, hope you're doing well. Bye.